WebMI helpful hints. Let's talk about some general hints first. Later versions of Seascape and firmware have incorporated a variety of WebMI improvements. Seascape 9.9 Service Pack 2 or later is a good choice. Firmware 15.22 is recommended for most OCS units, and if you're using the Wi-Fi to USB adapter, you should be using firmware 15.30 or later. Another hint is make sure the time and date on the OCS that's running WebMI are set properly. Otherwise, it can cause licensing issues. Also, if you're not sure about the size of the license you need, you can go to Display/Validate License in the graphics editor in Seascape, and it can tell you how many pages and how many data points you're using in your current project to help you pick the appropriate license. Also, use the System menu to verify that your OCS is properly licensed. You can go to the License Details screen, and it'll show you if you're licensed or not. Let's talk LAN configuration hints. First of all, for OCS units that have 2 wired Ethernet ports, WebMI is not available on LAN 2. It is available on LAN 1 only. For those of you who are using a Horner USB to Wi-Fi adapter, those are okay. Also, make sure your LANs are on different subnets. That applies to LAN 1, LAN 2, and the USB to Wi-Fi adapter. Thirdly, and this is very important, do not select the HTTP Web Server Resident Protocol option. This is not WebMI. If checked, this will prevent WebMI from operating properly. Now, it will be removed in Seascape 10. Also, sometimes pinging a unit over Ethernet is a good way to verify you can talk to the OCS if you're having difficulty. Now let's talk FTP, File Transfer Protocol. If you use the Publish Web Pages option to publish your web pages in Seascape, it uses FTP to transfer the created files in the WebMI folder to microSD. So, prior to using that option, you need to make sure that FTP is working. You need to make sure that the FTP resident protocol has been checked and at least one read-write user has been fully configured. When you actually select Publish Web Pages from the Seascape graphic editor, you'll need to fill in the Select FTP Target dialog box properly. That means the IP address of the OCS that's being configured. The target folder needs to be left alone. It'll be pre-configured for WebMI and that should stay the same. And then you'll need to fill in the username and password that are the FTP credentials, not the WebMI name and password. So you'll need to make sure those are properly configured before using this option. Prior to using the Publish Website option in Seascape, you can test to make sure FTP is working properly by using a web browser like Microsoft Explorer, Firefox, or Chrome, or an FTP client such as FileZilla or Fetch to verify that FTP is working properly. If it doesn't work for those programs, it's not going to work in Seascape either. Also, don't forget, you don't have to use FTP, even though FTP can be convenient. The Publish to Removable Media option requires manual copying of the files, but is much faster than the Publish Website option, which utilizes FTP. Here's a final hint. If you think you have everything set up properly, but you are getting errors or things are just not working, for web pages that are duplicates of your OCS screens, and you have the synchronous option checked, re-download your application to the OCS and republish your web pages. For all other cases, where your web pages are running asynchronously from your OCS screens, just republish your web pages.